All right, guys, we are moving on to topic 1.6 and rolling into Europe from 1200 to 1450. Taking a look at this, it's set up the same way. Hopefully, you've noticed the similarities as you've looked at each of these topics or the ones that are found within them. So, with 1.6, we're going to be dealing with the effects of beliefs and practices on society, the political characteristics, and agriculture and social organizations. So, we learn objective one. This is another one. You need to have something in this box. And I believe we did talk about it in class with the power of the medieval church. This is obviously dealing with Christianity. So make sure you circle that. And then just kind of, their power and then draw some conclusions about how that shapes culture, society, whatever it is, and go from there. So with the political characteristics of Europe during this time period, as you can see, causes and consequences. I don't have a cause listed on here, but I can tell you right now, the cause of this political decentralization is the fall of Rome. Basically, you take a centralized political authorities, example Rome that we're talking about here, that pretty much runs a good deal of Europe during this time. Once it disappears, everything flattens out, everything separates. There's no real central power. So you have all these different kingdoms and different places that are run by different people. So be able to reference this. The major characteristic of European political characteristics during this time is that it is decentralized. It is the opposite of China. It is the opposite of different places, Africa, Islam, wherever it is. Also be able to bring in that the political system and the way that it worked in Europe was through the process or through the concept of feudalism. You need to be able to explain under feudalism, what were the responsibilities of people in the relationships that were developed in feudalism? In other words, what was the relationship of a vassal to the person they were above? I think we did a chart. I'm pretty sure you've got the stuff down, but you need to tie it into being a characteristic of the decentralization from the fall of Rome. Also, I have the manorial system on here. I should have put that under, but this is the economic system that Europe runs on from 1200 to 1450. Be able to kind of describe the role of a medieval manor, what things were there. It's all pretty self-contained. That's what you're going to come out of or discuss when you're talking about this or if you're talking about this. So look up some stuff on it, be able to describe the basics and then how it's evidence of an economic system. Going on to 3, agriculture plays a role. This is the predominant economic activity in Europe at this time. And partly with the social organization part of the social organization components of this comes from the degree to which they are dependent on agriculture. And we're talking about the bottom of the social hierarchy here, and we're talking about serfs. So you need to be able to recognize them as a social category within Europe. And also, what were their responsibilities? What did they do? And then more importantly, what restrictions were placed on them? I think we talked about some in class, but we may not have. But that's easy information to find. What restrictions were on serfs during this period? In other words, just be able to discuss what their life was like. And then for some reason, with the lovely formatting that's happening here, there is the point: agricultural society dependent on free and coerced labor. Also be able to recognize or be able to categorize serfdom as a form of coerced labor. One of the things I hope we do in review is be able to trace the path of these along at least the first half of the course, and we'll have different types of coerced labor that we'll deal with. Serfdom will be one part of this. So that pretty much wraps up Unit 1. Thanks for bearing with me because I haven't done this in a while. As always, if you guys have any questions, if you need anything, let me know on Remind or email me. And then at some point, we will move on to Unit 2.